Hi there. I thought I'd do a video on some of the more prominent NPCs in the campaign and the miniatures I use for them. This isn't all the prominent NPCs in the campaign, but these are the ones that I've had cause to paint up miniatures for. So in no particular order, we'll start left to right. So this first guy here is Kanji. They never learned his name, but he was a winged kobold that they met initially in the ruins, in the caverns beneath Arden. He was at the entrance of the Dragon Tomb. Later on, Lork and Barry encountered him in Firestone Cave, and where he was trying to steal the lizard that was excreting the gems that Barry was trying to collect for his alchemical mixtures and stuff to make alchemical fire. But they killed him in that encounter. Thought about having him. He was trying to get away, but they just were quick and prevented that from happening, that was fine. And this guy here, they never got this guy's name. This is a wizard, and he was the one that was with Kanji at the entrance of the Dragon Tomb. And when the party showed up, he instructed Kanji to kill the party members, and then he teleported out. They haven't seen him since. That's a Reaper miniature. The next one is Gerk, the Goblin Witch, and with Hrothgar and Ronan, I think, or maybe it was Tyrannus and Ronan. Early on, they encountered her. She was mixing up this concoction to poison the water, the River Invis that flows down past Arden into the Moorwell, and she was mixing up some stuff to poison that water, and they prevented that from happening. But she is, if I recall, was one of their first encounters with a spellcaster, and really went out of my way to try to pick spells that suited her, and she, being a wicked, vile creature, and they worked pretty good. One of the wolves, Alfric, got charmed by her, and he in turn started attacking the party members, and it was I actually thought it was going to be a TPK, but they pulled out of it in the end. And but she's still on the loose. She wasn't killed when the mines were retaken, and so her whereabouts are unknown. The next one, they never got his name, but this is Baruch, the Ungern shaman, and he came down from the north with a warband and was planning some unknown deeds, but up to no good in and around Arden. They encountered him a couple times. Tough encounter because he was also a spellcaster. He was a primal druid. And in the last session, Lork, actually under orders from their chieftain of Arden, Connell Mormac, hunted him down with the help of Tyrannus and some of the wolves of Arden. They hunted him down, found him at the ruins of Undinmar, and Lork killed him and brought his head back as a trophy. That's a Games Workshop miniature. It's one of their beastmen. This is Aaron Cray, and Lork and Ronan and Hrothgar met her in the first session where my friend Steve played Ronan. She's the leader of bandits. Her band was a bit decimated by the Keepine Otan, which I'll get to down the line. Excuse me. But she survived that encounter. And that's a Reaper miniature. This big guy here is the Goblin King. That's a 3D print. He ruled the mines in the Blackburn Mountains for a number of years, even imprisoning a dwarf that led the assault on the mine some 30 years ago to try to retake the mine. That dwarf was captured and imprisoned for 30 years, ultimately freed by the party when they slew the Goblin King with the aid of Fofire, the Fey Knight. Like I said, that's a 3D print I got off Etsy. This is Krugnot. He was a fun character to play, actually. He's a Games Workshop miniature. They met him in the Darkmere Swamp. He was in leading a band of goblins, or tribe of goblins, I should say, called the Croakers. They're very, if you've ever seen the old Hobbit cartoon from way back in the day, they were very kind of more like Gollum in that cartoon. They had webbed hands and feet and let out A lot of times they would communicate. Their goblin language is more of a croaking sound. They were different from normal goblins. Party struck a bargain with him. He traded them a map for some ruins, the location of some ruins in the Darkmere, and they left him and the remaining Croaker goblins alone. So, he was an interesting character to play, to role play with the party. This guy here, yeah, that's a Games Workshop miniature from their Goblin line. This is Aiden LeMay, and Aiden is a human cleric of Matrona, which is one of the main gods in Arden that is worshipped. That's a Reaper miniature. Aiden's been around for a while. Like I did a couple small sessions with just my son, him playing Lork, getting used to the Castles and Crusades systems before I started running sessions for the group. And Aiden was one of the first NPCs that I made. He's based off of, inspired by Larry Elm. There's a picture of a cleric, I think, with a hammer of thunderbolts. It's in the old red box D&D basic set. That's what he was inspired by. So that miniature's been around since before the campaign even really kicked off. The next one is Breya Phelan, and Breya is a human woman from a small village north of Arden, and she is currently employed as Barry's henchman or henchwoman, and she is a ranger. And I'm trying to remember where I got that miniature from. The company doesn't, I think it's out of business now, but it's been modified. It's a metal miniature, but I added that shield, which is a representative in my campaign of the Eldani Empire, which is a massive dragon worshipping empire far to the north. So I added that shield and I added that sword to the miniature because the ones that were on it were a little small. Matter of fact, she didn't have a shield. She had I think a knife. But yeah, I don't think you can even get that miniature anymore, which is convenient since I don't remember where I even bought it. This is Otan, and he is a Keepine. And this is a 3D print I got off Etsy from a shop called Barthel's Marvels. Matter of fact, it was the very first thing I've ever bought from them. I bought a lot more since because they do awesome work. I saw these painted up first on a YouTube channel, Blue Table Painting or something like that. I really liked them, just bought them, had no plan for them, and then eventually with the Castles of Crusades game, got to add them, use them in the campaign, which was a lot of fun. He's been encountered a couple times. He was encountered in the session where Aaron Cray was encountered. Lork freed him. The bandits captured him. We're going to bring him to a town to the south where a lot of black market stuff goes on, and sell him. And Lork freed him, and he ripped through the bandit camp, and they used that as a distraction so they could actually escape. And they later on met him again in the Darkmere swamp in the ruins when they went to explore the ruins that they got a map from Krugnot. So he warned them of evil fae coming into their realm. But yeah, so that's just a few of the NPCs and the ones that I have miniatures for so far. I have another one I just finished up, but he hasn't been introduced yet, so I left him out of this video. But and there's more that I want to get for NPCs that do make repeat appearances in the game. Tula the Gnome, the Bard, she has been in sessions as my friend Matt played her in a session, and she's been an NPC in other sessions, and some like Lork and Barry have a pretty good relationship with her, especially Lork now, after giving her a very expensive harp that he got in the last session. He gave it to her as a gift. So and I like her as a NPC. She's fun to play, so she shows up when the party needs her. But I need to get a good miniature for her. But yeah, I just wanted to show these off a little bit. I got in the back, got some 3D printed terrain and some tabletop world terrain that I painted. But yeah, if you have any questions about any of these miniatures or comments, I'd love to see them. And thanks for watching.